This is probably a movie that I can see a lot of people enjoying.
I can see a bunch of 12-year-old young boys enjoying this movie.
What's up and welcome to None of This Really Matters, where it's that time of year again, there's campaign posters everywhere, and we're ready to vote and we're excited, it's just that we don't really know why. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jacob. Today is the day, you guys. We are going to the movies. We are going to see Venom. It's been a while since you saw our trailer reaction, but we are super excited to go to this movie.
This is a movie that all of us have been really excited for in the nerd culture because this is a character that's important to us. This is someone from the Spider-Man canon, except for Spider-Man's not going to be in it.
He's not going to be in it, but that's okay because Venom is the anti-hero. He's the guy who's going to work outside of the law but be super awesome and a guy with a golden heart when the time comes for it.
And that is something that we are all excited to look for, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about it because I wasn't the biggest fan of all the trailers that came out, and to be honest, I don't think Sony's gonna be able to pull it off.
It's true. Ryan has voiced his opinion out the entire time we've done this, and he's sticking to it. Me, I might be a little bit emotionally compromised because I really do like Venom and I really like Tom Hardy. I'm really rooting for him, but I have been wrong in the past.
I've said it before, I'm a big fan of Tom Hardy, but I gotta be honest, I don't know if this is gonna be something that he can actually mend up if Sony doesn't pull through on their end. You gotta have a good story, and you gotta be true to not only the character, but the whole mythos that surrounds it. I mean, this is the Spider-Man universe in Sony's hands right now. I mean, a lot of people might not know it, but this movie stands for a lot of other things because Sony has a lot that is going on. They're going to be doing a lot of other movies like Morbius. They're going to be doing other movies like Silk, maybe even picking up the Spider-Man title itself after Marvel is done with it. I just feel like that's a lot of pressure for Sony, and I don't know if they'll be able to, like, hold it up, y'all.
That's definitely true, and you know what? Sony has the ball in their court, so they could do whatever they want with it, hopefully. So you know what? Let's stop talking about it. Let's gear up, let's get in the car, and head over to Stadium Cinemas in Payson, Utah.
We just got back from the advanced pre-screening of Venom, and
C is the grade I would give this movie because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It had elements of great movies, but it definitely was slow and boring at times in the theater. My biggest complaint about this movie is that the antagonist, the bad guy, wasn't a good bad guy.
yeah, he was the worst.
He was way awful.
The worst, and I feel like you're being extremely generous about
I am.
the rating. A C? I'd give it like a D. Let's talk about the things that we didn't like about it, but let's end this off with the things that we did like about it because there are a lot of things in here that I feel like people would actually like. This is probably a movie that I can see a lot of people enjoying.
I can see a bunch of 12-year-old young boys enjoying this movie, really getting excited for the Spider-Man universe expanding and being a lot more darker than what they're used to.
See, but that's the problem that I had about this movie is that it didn't seem to understand what it was. Every time there was a fight scene, it was like really violent, and because it was PG-13, it wasn't extremely violent as if like Venom should be. But during times when they weren't fighting, it was just slapstick comedy that did not fit for, first off, Tom Hardy, and for just the character Venom itself. It didn't work for me.
I couldn't agree more. When there wasn't action sequences going on, the slapstick humor that Ryan was talking about is very off-putting. It doesn't fit the characters, it doesn't fit the feel of the movie, and especially when the action sequences came in. I know it's a PG-13 movie, but there were some graphic things in there that you know if they would have gone back and seen the aftermath, it would have been awful. But they didn't show it, and the slapstick humor was just bad because it didn't fit the movie at all. And in fact, parts in the movie, whenever there was deep sequences of action, the CGI was so intense that I honestly couldn't really focus on something because it was moving way too fast and just overkill on the CGI.
The writing was probably some of the worst writing I have seen in a movie. Nobody had like a clear and present motive. It was nuts. There are cool parts in this movie, but the thing is that I feel like we saw all of them in the trailers, the 3 trailers that we got.
It definitely feels like an old animated TV series of Spider-Man because it didn't feel like an actual movie, let alone a big budget movie that Sony could have put out for us.
And not to mention, because of the slapstick one-liner comedy things that went on in this movie, it felt really campy. It felt really out of place, and it just felt like this was for an audience that was way younger than what the fans actually really wanted. I at first was on board with it being PG-13, but then within 15 minutes into the movie, I thought, yeah, this probably should have been rated R because it should have been an adult, mature themed kind of character, because this is not a good guy and we do not see him do good things. And that's where I feel like the identity of this movie was lost.
Do you think if it was rated R, it would be a good movie?
I feel like they would know what it was, because if it was rated R, I don't think it would have had all of that campy humor in there.
Definitely. If it was rated R, they would have pushed it more and definitely got the feel of the movie, but let those characters be who they were meant to be.
Now, the things that I did like about this is I actually really did like Tom Hardy's portrayal. Yep. He was great. I mean, you can't go wrong with Tom Hardy. He's always really good at what he does. I mean, he's a great actor. There were times where he had to like pretend as if Venom was taking over his body, and I thought he did a really awesome
an excellent job because it's hard to be able to act with this thing inside you that you cannot even imagine what it looks like, but yet you can only see it what it looks like after the movie's been made. And he did an excellent job in my opinion.
Yeah, and he had to hold up the whole performance because we had people in there that just did not match. The villain just felt like the worst casting ever. His girlfriend felt as if like her wig was gonna fall off at any moment, and not to mention there was no chemistry there. This movie was just not good, but I will admit it was an entertaining time.
It was for sure entertaining, especially for our seats that we were in and in a great theater. We would like to take this time to say how grateful we were to Stadium Cinemas for letting us see this movie and in a pre-advanced screening. Thank you so very much.
Stadium Cinema is sponsoring this episode today. They are a local theater here in Utah County, and they just redid all of their seating. A great theater with great seating is a great time with you and all of your friends to be able to go and watch a movie all together. Get popcorn, drinks, and have a great time watching whatever movies that they have on their many screens. Not to mention, they have a great app that you can look at when it comes to any of the movies that they're going to be getting in and have in at this time. Check out what prices are, their times, and reserved seating. It's so awesome to be able to have this at our fingertips. Stadium Cinema, it is the experience you need to have for your movie night.
Here on Nerdy Blurb TV, we don't sugarcoat our reviews for our movies. If you guys agreed with our opinions or disagreed, let us know in the comments below or send us a link or a tweet, email, whatever you want to send us. But if you do go see this movie, make sure you stay at the very end because there are a couple things at the end of the previews. No spoilers here, but definitely check it out.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by here. If you are not subscribed to our channel and you are into the nerdy lifestyle like books, board games, movies, video games, and much, much more, this is the place for you. So consider subscribing because we are really passionate about all of those topics and we love hearing from our viewers like you. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to like our content, be sure to comment, but if you don't want to, that's okay because in the end, none of this really matters.